Good morning, YouTube. This is Dave Croft, and welcome to my vlog for 52Q's week number 2 for starting January 7th, 2019. I hope that you've had a great and productive week 1. If you're joining us on the 52Q's challenge, I heard some folks refer it to a challenge. And yeah, I think that's a really cool way to think of it. For me, it's just about staying motivated and making 2019 really my year of output. But yeah, week 1 is in the can. If you are joining us over at 52Qs on the Facebook group, just facebook.com/groups/52Qs. I will have a link to that in the show description if you want to join us and commit to writing at least one 2-minute Q per week all year long. And if it's more than that, awesome. I will be having weekly themes. Last week was your favorite type of Q. This week, for week 2, we are going to be writing positive cues. So it could be an emotional piano solo. It could be an uplifting trailer track, just a positive trailer track, or it could be a happy clappy, happy clappy ukulele track. That's probably what I'll do. I have some ukuleles there that I picked up, and that's what is coming in the next week coming up. But I wanted to reflect on last week. Last week was a favorite type of cue, and I set out originally to write a hip hop cue, an orchestral epic hip hop cue, and I wrote up something. I submitted it to the publisher. And the reason I chose that type of cue is because that was really the first type of cue that I got some traction with. It's what got me on air at CBS Sports, and so yeah, I was going to kind of honor that and continue that. Not to mention that we're now into the football playoffs, and that we also have golf coming up and NCAA tournament and all of that. So I wanted to write something for 52 Qs that I can also use. This is an exercise. Writing 52 Qs is an exercise of motivation, but hopefully, my hope is that you walk away with something that you can use. I know that I want every week to not just go through the motions of writing something and sitting it on a shelf, but I hope to be able to use these cues somehow and pitch them to publishers and maybe get air with them. I think that would be great. So this is a track that had a lot of different names. The first version I sent, the publisher just did not like at all. He gave me a reference, and I stuck pretty close to it, but I couldn't be too close to the reference because the reference had some really standout organ lines actually. And whenever I went there too close to the reference, it felt like I don't know, it felt like it wasn't far enough away from what the reference was. And I definitely, obviously plagiarizing or anything like that. And I don't think we're in any danger there, even with the organ lines that I originally wrote. But yeah, he didn't like it. And if I'm being honest with myself, I don't think I was crazy about it. I was more interested in getting it done, write, submit, forget, repeat, and moving on. But he didn't dig that. And so I got an email. And so I stripped away everything. I left some of the instruments in. I stripped away everything but the groove because I was really happy with the groove. And I brought in some guitar and bass samples, some guitar and bass loops. And anytime I work with loops, especially with hip hop, because hip hop is intrinsically loop based. Okay. And so whenever I work with loops, I try to find as long a loops as possible. And these are 8-bar loops, and that gives it life over time, and I can chop them up as opposed to just a 1-bar loop that I repeat ad nauseum. And so here it is. This is called a Swaggy Dance, which was originally called Pick Six Swagger, and then it was called Swaggy Pants, and it wound up being Swaggy Dance. So that is Swaggy Dance. I have some East West in there. This is just stock Logic electronic drums, nothing out of the ordinary. This is a shaker that I recorded, which is actually a rain stick. It's kind of my secret weapon. I love using that shaker. Some crash cymbals from East West, some suspended cymbals from East West, rendered into bounced into audio because it's much easier to place things like suspended cymbals as audio files. You can line them up a little bit better. Some East West tubular bells, a sub bass that's nothing but the EXS and Logic with no sound loaded, and that just makes a nice clean sine wave. That's another kind of secret sauce kind of thing. Even in orchestral tracks, I'll layer in a sub bass really low. Horns are Session Horns Pro from Native Instruments. This organ is just stock Logic organ, and some riser sounds from Hybrid Tools by ADO that I got for like crazy cheap over the Christmas holiday. So I hope that you enjoyed that, and I look forward to hearing your tracks over at 52 Cues over on Facebook, and yeah. So on to positive cues and probably playing that jangly ukulele back there. We'll see you next week.